Okay, so have you ever felt like you're just stuck?
Stuck.
Yeah, like in a loop.
Yeah.
You're reading all these books and articles, you're
Right.
listening to podcasts,
Hmm.
but you never quite get to actually doing anything with all that information.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
It's like information overload almost.
Absolutely.
Well, today we're diving into a book that tackles that exact problem head on.
Okay.
It's called Show Your Work by Kleon.
Show your work. I like that.
Yeah, and it's not just about consuming.
Right.
It's about actually participating and becoming a creator.
Putting yourself out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what Kleon does is he breaks it down into these 10 really practical chapters,
Okay.
and they kind of build on each other.
Nice.
So it's like a step-by-step process almost.
Like a roadmap.
Exactly. A roadmap for, sharing your creativity with the world.
I like it.
And he's very reassuring right off the bat.
Oh, good.
In the very first chapter, he's like, you don't have to be a genius.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's like, embrace being an amateur.
Because we all start there.
Exactly.
Right?
We're all amateurs at some point.
Absolutely.
And he says it takes the pressure off.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you're not striving to be some kind of genius,
Yeah.
you can just relax and experiment and learn and have fun with it.
No judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he quotes Charlie Chaplin,
Oh, cool.
who said, we don't live long enough to be anything else.
I like that.
Isn't that great?
That's a good one.
So we're all amateurs.
Right.
And then Kleon says, okay, you got to shift your thinking.
Okay, how so?
So instead of
Awesome.
thinking about the product, the finished thing,
Yeah.
think about the process.
The journey?
Exactly, the journey, the messy middle part.
Oh, I see.
And he uses this great example.
Oh, okay.
He talks about Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and how he meticulously documented the making of Thriller,
Wow.
which is, one of the best-selling albums of all time.
Yeah, iconic.
So it wasn't just about the final product, the
No.
album.
Right.
It was about capturing the whole creative journey.
Interesting. So even Michael Jackson at that level was focused on the process.
Exactly.
Wow.
And Cleon's point is that we can all do that.
Right.
We don't have to be making a Thriller album.
Yeah.
We can still document our process.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we've embraced being an amateur.
Okay.
We're focused on the process.
Yeah.
And now Cleon's like, all right, share it.
Share it.
Yeah, he says, share your work.
But that's where people get scared, right?
Absolutely, because they
Yeah.
think, oh, my work's not good enough.
Yeah.
Or I'm not ready.
Not ready yet.
But his argument is that by sharing, even if it's just little bits and pieces,
Okay.
it helps you build momentum.
I see.
You find your people, you get feedback.
Like those daily sketches you see artists post online.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Over time, you see this incredible growth.
Right. They get better and better.
And he emphasizes this. He's like, share your work.
Not just anything.
Not just anything, not cat memes, not motivational quotes.
Right.
Share the stuff that you find valuable,
Okay.
that you're genuinely passionate about.
Got it.
He says, let your passion shine through.
Good advice.
So pick a platform.
Any platform.
Yeah, blog, social media, whatever.
Okay.
And just commit to sharing something every day.
Even if it's just for 5 minutes.
Even for 5 minutes.
Okay.
So we're documenting the process.
Yeah.
We're sharing it.
We're putting ourselves out there.
And then he connects this to generosity.
Generosity.
Yeah, he encourages us to open up our cabinets of curiosity.
Cabinets of curiosities. That's a cool phrase.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, those old cabinets.
Yeah.
Filled with all these fascinating objects from around the world.
I see.
He's basically saying, your influences, your inspirations, those are your treasures.
Oh.
I share them.
Don't hoard them.
Exactly. Don't hoard them.
I like that.
Be generous with what inspires you.
Okay.
And he says when you share,
Yeah.
you're not just giving credit where credit's due,
Right.
but you're sparking conversations.
And helping other people discover new things.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's all about being part of this bigger creative ecosystem.
We're all inspired by something, right?
Absolutely. We all have our influences.
So sharing those helps everyone.
Okay, so we're embracing the amateur.
Yep.
We're documenting, we're sharing, we're being generous.
Mm-hmm.
And now Kleon brings in storytelling.
Storytelling.
Yeah, he says facts alone aren't that memorable.
Okay.
We connect with stories.
Oh, that's true.
And he gives this simple example.
Okay.
The cat sat on the mat
Okay.
versus the cat sat on the dog cheese mat.
Oh, I see. Conflict.
Conflict, exactly.
Automatically more interesting.
So even if you're sharing something technical
Mm-hmm.
or data-driven,
Yeah.
weave in a story.
It makes sense.
Think about presentations.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Some are just boring, dry facts.
Right.
Others are captivating because they tell a story.
Absolutely.
So think conflict, resolution, character development.
All those things we love in a good book or a movie.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Okay, we're rolling here.
We're sharing, we're telling stories.
And now he says, become a teacher.
A teacher?
Yeah, share your knowledge.
Interesting.
And he argues teaching isn't about being an expert.
Okay.
It's about deepening your own understanding
Yeah.
and helping others grow.
And often when you teach...
You learn something new yourself.
Right.
And he quotes Annie Dillard,
Okay.
who said, anything you do not give freely and abundantly becomes lost to you.
Wow. That's powerful.
Isn't it?
So holding on to knowledge too tightly can stifle creativity.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's a mindset shift.
Yeah.
So how do you start if you're hesitant to teach?
That's a good question.
Start small.
Okay.
Write a blog post.
Mm-hmm.
Teach a friend a skill. Give a presentation at work.
Right. Just start somewhere.
Okay, so we've been pretty open in sharing.
Sharing, teaching, yeah.
But now Kleon throws us a bit of a curveball.
What's that?
He says, don't turn into human spam.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Especially in the digital age.
Right. So easy to get caught up in likes and followers.
Exactly.
But that's not the point.
No, he says it's about building genuine connections.
Not just broadcasting into the void.
So how do we walk that line
That's a good question.
between sharing authentically
Yeah.
and spamming people?
Right, right.
He emphasizes paying attention to what others are doing,
Okay.
engaging in meaningful conversations,
Mm-hmm.
and prioritizing those face-to-face interactions whenever possible.
Okay, so quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about finding your tribe.
Those people who really get you.
And he has this great quote
Okay.
from Jeffrey Zeldman, who says, what you want is to follow and be followed by human beings who care about the issues you care about.
Right.
This thing we make together.
Yeah.
This thing is about hearts and minds, not eyeballs.
That's a good one.
It's a powerful reminder.
It is.
Okay, so with those genuine connections
Yeah.
comes the courage to be vulnerable.
To put yourself out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which leads perfectly into Kleon's next piece of advice.
Which is
Learn to take a punch.
learn to take a punch.
Yeah, because when you put yourself out there,
Yeah.
criticism's going to happen.
Oh, for sure.
It's inevitable.
It comes with the territory.
So how do we handle it
Right.
without letting it derail us?
Yeah.
He uses this brilliant boxing analogy.
Okay.
He says, strengthen your neck, protect your vulnerable areas, roll with the punches, keep your balance, and breathe.
Wow.
So it's about building resilience.
Yeah. Knowing your worth.
Exactly.
Not letting negativity drag you down.
So we're not just passively accepting criticism.
Right.
We're actively preparing for it,
Interesting.
strengthening our defenses,
Okay.
learning from feedback,
Mm-hmm.
and remembering that not all criticism is created equal.
Good point.
Sometimes the best response is no response at all.
Don't feed the trolls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So choose your battles.
Okay.
Focus your energy on the people who matter.
The ones who get you.
Okay, so we've learned to embrace our amateur status, share our process,
Yep.
tell stories,
Right.
teach what we know,
Okay.
avoid becoming spam,
Yeah.
and take a punch.
A lot of good advice in there.
Kleon's packing a lot into these chapters.
Yeah, he is.
And he doesn't stop there.
Oh.
He even tackles a topic that's often taboo in the creative world.
Which is selling out.
Selling out. Oh, yeah.
A lot of creators struggle with this.
Right. Trying to find that balance.
Between making a living
Yeah.
and staying true to their vision.
Right, right.
And Kleon, he challenges the negative connotations around selling out. Okay.
He says it doesn't have to be a dirty word.
Interesting.
It's about finding ways to make your work sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
but stay true to your values.
So it's not about compromising your integrity.
Exactly.
It's about finding ways to support your passions.
And he quotes Bill Withers,
Okay.
who said, we're all entrepreneurs. To me, I don't care if you own a furniture store or whatever, the best sign you can put up is SOLDOUT.
That's a good one.
So it's about recognizing your value
Yeah.
and finding ways to make your work sustainable so you can keep creating.
Right. Keep the lights on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it often involves collaborating,
Okay.
building relationships,
Mm-hmm.
exploring different avenues for sharing and selling your work.
So being resourceful.
Exactly.
Okay.
And finally, we reach the last chapter,
The last chapter.
which he simply titles, Keep Going.
Keep going. I like that.
Short and sweet.
To the point.
It's a reminder that the creative journey is a marathon,
not a sprint.
There will be ups and downs.
Successes and setbacks.
And Kleon encourages us to develop a keep-going ritual.
A keep-going ritual.
Yeah, something that helps you re-energize
Oh,
and
okay.
refocus when you hit a wall.
So like what kind of thing?
Maybe it's revisiting inspiring work,
Okay.
connecting with other creators,
Mm-hmm.
or just taking a break.
Makes sense.
Whatever works for you.
Okay.
So we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling inspired
Yeah, me too, definitely.
to put some of these ideas into practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm curious.
Yeah.
Did you notice any recurring themes running through these chapters?
Well, one thing that struck me was how they build on each other.
Yes.
It's not just a random collection of tips.
Right.
Each step prepares you for the next one.
It's a progression.
Yeah.
Kleon's not just telling us to show our work.
He's showing us how.
Exactly.
It's a framework almost.
for approaching the whole creative process,
From inspiration to sharing.
to making it sustainable,
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is that it's a journey.
not a destination.
Exactly.
Okay, so now let's talk about what our listeners can actually do with all this.
All right, let's get practical.
What are some concrete steps they can take right now to put these ideas into practice?
Well, the most immediate action is to just start documenting their process.
Okay.
Grab a notebook, open a notes app, even just jot down ideas on scraps of paper.
So it doesn't have to be fancy.
No, not at all.
Just start capturing those thoughts and insights.
Yeah, as they come up.
Great point.
It's a simple shift, but it really helps you move from consuming to creating.
Okay, now let's get a little more ambitious.
Okay.
If someone wanted to commit to like a 30-day plan based on show your work,
Mm-hmm.
what would that look like?
Well, for a 30-day challenge, I would recommend picking one platform.
Okay.
It could be a blog, Instagram, Twitter, anything really,
Mm-hmm.
and commit to sharing something related to your work every single day for those 30 days. And again, it doesn't have to be a masterpiece.
Just a glimpse into your process.
Yeah, your inspirations, your thoughts, your struggles even.
That's a great challenge.
And it helps you build that muscle of consistency.
Yeah, overcome that fear of sharing.
Exactly.
But of course, life happens, right?
Right.
Obstacles get in the way.
They do.
What are some common roadblocks that people might encounter?
Well, one of the biggest is perfectionism.
Perfectionism, yeah?
People get so caught up in wanting everything to be perfect that they end up not sharing anything at all.
Right.
So remember, embrace your amateur status, focus on the process.
Don't wait for things to be perfect.
Just start sharing.
That's so important.
It is.
Perfectionism can really kill creativity.
It can.
What about fear of criticism?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
A lot of people struggle with that.
For sure.
And Kleon reminds us that criticism is inevitable when you put yourself out there.
It is.
It's part of the process.
Yeah.
So it's about building that resilience,
Mm.
learning from feedback,
Okay.
and remembering to strengthen your neck and roll with the punches.
I love those analogies.
So we've got actionable steps,
Yep.
ways to overcome obstacles.
We're getting there.
Now, I'd love to see how this all plays out in real-world situations.
Okay.
Do you have any examples of people who have successfully implemented Kleon's principles?
Absolutely.
Okay.
One great example is Elizabeth Gilbert.
Elizabeth Gilbert,
Yes.
author of Eat, Pray, Love.
Exactly.
Okay.
And before her book became this huge bestseller,
Mm.
she was already blogging about her travels and experiences.
So she was showing her work in real time,
Yeah, exactly.
building an audience, connecting with readers.
Before the book even came out.
That's a great point.
So by sharing those behind-the-scenes glimpses into her creative process,
Yeah.
she created this sense of anticipation and excitement.
Oh, that's so smart.
It is, right?
It makes me think about how important it is to find the right platform.
Yeah.
For her, it was blogging.
Right.
But for others, it might be Instagram, YouTube, or even just having conversations with people in their field.
Absolutely. It's about finding where your people are.
Okay, so Elizabeth Gilbert's one great example.
Yeah.
Any other show your work?
Huh.
Rock stars come to mind.
Well, another fantastic example is Amanda Palmer.
Amanda Palmer, the musician.
Yeah, okay. She's built a really successful career by being incredibly open and generous with her fans,
Okay.
sharing her creative process, her struggles, her triumphs.
So she's really built a community.
Exactly, and that's something Kleon emphasizes.
Yeah, connecting with the right people
The ones who genuinely resonate with your work.
and want to support you on your journey.
It's not about trying to please everyone.
Right.
It's about finding your people and nurturing those relationships.
These case studies are so inspiring.
They are.
They really show that Kleon's ideas aren't just theoretical.
Right.
They can actually lead to real-world success.
Yeah, and fulfillment too.
And that fulfillment comes from connecting with others,
Absolutely.
sharing your passion.
And making an impact.
Okay, I'm feeling fired up.
Me too.
I'm ready to go out there and show my work.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up part 1,
Okay.
I'd love to point our listeners to some resources
Resources. Good idea.
where they can learn more about show your work
Yeah.
and connect with other creative folks.
Okay.
So first and foremost,
Mm-hmm.
check out Austin Kleon's website.
Okay.
He's got tons of great articles and videos
Mm-hmm.
and resources that expand on the ideas in the book.
Cool.
And I'm sure he's active on social media too, right?
Definitely. You can find him on Twitter and Instagram.
Sharing his latest projects.
Yeah. And insights.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for our listeners who are looking to connect with other creative folks,
Yeah.
what are some communities or online groups you'd recommend?
There's so many great options out there.
Okay.
Creative Mornings, Skillshare, and Behance. All fantastic online communities.
Mm-hmm.
And there are tons of Facebook groups and subreddits dedicated to specific creative fields.
That's a good point.
So you can really find your niche.
Oh, yeah, find your people.
And don't forget about local meetups and workshops.
Oh, yeah, face-to-face connection.
There's nothing quite like it.
So check out your local library, community centers, art spaces.
See what's happening.
Okay, I think we've given our listeners a great starting point.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, before we move on to part 2,
Okay.
where we'll dive even deeper into some practical strategies,
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question.
Ooh, I like questions.
Okay, here it is.
All right.
If you could share just one piece of your creative process with the world today,
Okay.
what would it be and why?
That's a good one.
It really gets us thinking about what's at the heart of our work,
Yeah.
what we want to share,
And finding that small act of sharing that feels meaningful.
and doable.
Exactly.
So while you're pondering that, we'll be right back with part 2,
All right, can't wait.
where we'll explore even more practical tips and strategies
Sounds good.
for putting show your work into action.
Looking forward to it.
Stay tuned.
We'll be right back. Welcome back.
So we were just talking about
Yeah.
sharing one piece of your creative process,
Right. A small step.
but even small steps
Absolutely.
move us forward.
It's like Kleon says, the act of sharing is a form of learning.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it's true.
So as you start thinking about what you want to share,
Yeah.
you're already engaging with your work in a deeper way.
Okay, now let's get into some practical strategies.
Okay, love it.
Because one thing that often trips people up is the what.
The what?
What to share,
Right.
how to share it,
Okay.
where to share it,
It can feel overwhelming.
especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's break it down, starting with the what.
The what?
Kleon encourages us to think about our process.
Not just the final product.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
definitely.
what are some things you would recommend sharing?
Well, definitely behind the scenes glimpses into your work.
Okay, behind the scenes.
Yeah, like a snapshot of your messy desk
Oh, yeah.
or a time-lapse video of your creative process.
People love that stuff.
They do. They love to see how things get made.
So it's about pulling back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah, right. Let people in.
Let them see the messy middle.
Exactly. You don't have to reveal all your secrets.
Right.
But sharing some of those steps along the way,
Yeah.
it just makes your work feel more relatable.
Okay, so we've got some ideas for what to share.
Okay.
Now, how about the how?
The how.
What are some ways to make those behind-the-scenes glimpses engaging and interesting?
Well, think about incorporating storytelling elements.
Oh, okay, even for like a simple photo or video.
Right. Even if it's just a photo or video,
Yeah.
maybe you add a caption explaining a challenge you faced
Oh, yeah.
or an unexpected discovery you made.
So it's about adding that human touch,
Exactly.
those little details that connect with people.
On an emotional level,
Yeah.
you can also experiment with different formats,
Oh,
photos, videos, blog posts, even live streams.
so many options.
Right. See what resonates with your audience
Yeah.
and what feels most natural for you.
Okay, so we've got the what and the how.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the where.
The where.
Choosing the right platform
Right.
for sharing your work.
This is where knowing your target audience is crucial.
Oh, absolutely.
Are they on Instagram,
Mhm.
YouTube, Twitter?
Right.
Or maybe they're more likely to engage with you through email or a newsletter.
So many options.
It's about meeting your audience where they are,
Yeah.
using a platform that feels comfortable for them.
And for you.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment.
Oh, yeah. Try different things.
See what works best.
Okay, so we've got our behind-the-scenes glimpses.
Yeah.
We're telling stories.
Yeah.
We're on the right platform.
We're doing good.
But then the inevitable happens.
Oh no, what's that?
Someone leaves a negative comment.
Ah, I hate those.
How do we handle that
Right.
without letting it derail us?
It's tough.
But remember Cleon's boxing analogy?
Yeah, strengthen your neck.
We've been strengthening our necks,
Protect your vulnerable areas.
protecting our vulnerable areas,
Rolling with the punches.
practicing those roles.
And not every comment warrants a response.
Oh, that's so true.
Sometimes silence is golden.
Yeah, choose your battles.
Exactly.
But what about those times when you do want to engage?
Okay.
Even if it's negative feedback,
Yeah.
what do you do then?
Approach it with curiosity.
Curiosity, okay.
Try to understand where the person is coming from. Maybe their comment can help you see your work from a different perspective.
Oh, that's interesting.
Turn it into a learning opportunity.
Okay.
And remember, you don't have to please everyone.
That's impossible.
It is. Focus on connecting with the people who genuinely resonate with your work.
The people who get it. Okay, so we've talked about sharing our process. But what about those of us who are working on something big,
Big.
a long-term project,
Okay.
that we're not quite ready to share publicly?
Right.
What advice does Kleon have for us?
He actually addresses this directly.
Oh,
He talks about finding ways to share bits and pieces along the way.
okay. Bits and pieces.
Even if the whole project is still under wraps,
I like that.
think of it like a movie trailer.
Okay.
You're giving people a taste of what's to come.
Without revealing the whole plot.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy.
So find those little nuggets that you feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah.
Give people a sense of your process
Mm-hmm.
and build anticipation for the final product.
Okay, so we're still showing our work,
We are.
even if we're not showing the whole thing.
Exactly. You're inviting people into your creative world and
Yeah.
allowing them to connect with your journey.
And those connections
They can
are
lead to amazing things.
collaboration, feedback, support.
It's all part of that creative ecosystem.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit
Okay, where are we going now?
and talk about the selling out dilemma.
Ah, selling out, yes.
A lot of creatives struggle with this,
They do.
feeling like making money from their work
Yeah.
somehow compromises their artistic integrity.
Right, like real artists should starve
Exactly.
and never think about money.
But Kleon challenges that.
He does.
He sees selling out as finding creative ways
Okay.
to support your passions and share them with the world.
Right, so it's not a dirty word.
Exactly.
Remember that Bill Withers quote
Yeah.
for all entrepreneurs?
I love that quote.
It's about recognizing your value
Yes.
and finding ways to make your work sustainable.
so you can keep creating.
Exactly.
And that often involves exploring different avenues
Okay.
for sharing and selling your work.
Like freelancing, selling products, setting up a Patreon.
So many options.
It's about being resourceful
And finding creative solutions.
that work for you.
And remember, Kleon emphasizes collaboration,
Yes.
building relationships,
It's about working together
supporting each other.
and making the creative world a more sustainable and vibrant place.
Okay, we've talked about sharing, selling, handling
A
criticism.
lot of good stuff.
What about those moments when we hit a creative wall?
Oh, those are the worst.
How do we stay motivated
Right.
and keep that momentum going?
That's the challenge.
Well, Kleon dedicates a whole chapter to this.
Oh, really?
He calls it Keep Going.
Appropriate title.
And it's all about embracing the ups and downs.
Of the creative journey.
There will be times when we feel stuck,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
uninspired, exhausted.
It happens to all of us.
That's normal.
It is.
The key is to have a plan for those moments.
Oh, okay, a plan.
And that's where that Keep Going ritual comes in.
It's a ritual.
It's about having those practices
Right.
that help you recharge,
Mm-hmm.
refocus,
Yeah.
reconnect with your creative spark.
So what kind of things are we talking about?
Maybe it's taking a walk in nature,
Oh, I like that.
listening to your favorite music, spending time with other creative people.
So many possibilities.
It's about finding what works for you
Yeah.
and making it a regular part of your routine.
Like a habit.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've explored a lot of practical strategies
Oh, yeah.
for putting show your work into action.
I'm curious,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on why Kleon's ideas resonate so strongly with people?
Why is this book so impactful?
I think it's the combination of practicality and inspiration.
Oh, I see.
He doesn't just tell us to be creative.
Right.
He gives us concrete steps to take,
Yep.
real-world examples to follow, and a framework for thinking about our work.
In a new way.
Yeah.
And he does it all in such a relatable, down-to-earth way.
He does.
He's like that encouraging friend
Yes.
who believes in your potential and gives you the tools to make it happen.
So he reminds us that we don't have to be geniuses or experts
Right.
to create meaningful work.
We just have to be willing to show up, share our journey, connect with others.
And those connections are what make it so rewarding.
Now I'm curious to hear from our listeners.
Oh yeah, let's get them involved.
What are your keep-going rituals?
What are those things that help you stay motivated and inspired?
You can share your thoughts in the comments.
Or connect with us on social media?
We'd love to hear from you.
We'll be back in a moment for part 3,
All right, looking forward to it.
where we'll continue our exploration of Show Your Work
Sounds good.
with some inspiring case studies.
Can't wait. Welcome back to part 3.
We've been really diving deep into Show Your Work
Yeah, it's been great.
and all the practical ways to actually, move from just consuming to creating.
Absolutely, putting it all into practice.
But now I want to get into some real-world inspiration.
Okay, love it.
People who have really embraced Kleon's philosophy and seen amazing results.
Okay, who do we have?
So one of my favorites
Okay.
is James Clear,
Oh, James Clear, yeah.
author of Atomic Habits.
Huge bestseller.
Yeah, but before his book
Hmm.
became this global phenomenon,
Right.
he was consistently sharing his ideas and insights on his blog.
So he was building an audience, basically.
Yeah, establishing himself as an expert one blog post at a time.
And showing his work
Exactly.
long before the book deal.
Long before he had any kind of major platform,
Oh,
he was just sharing what he knew,
right.
building those connections,
Yeah.
letting his passion shine through.
And it paid off.
Big time.
It's a powerful reminder
It is.
you don't need permission
No,
to share your work.
you don't have to wait for the perfect moment.
Right.
You can just start.
Wherever you are.
Absolutely.
Okay, who else?
Another inspiring example is Jessica Hishe.
Oh, Jessica Hishe, the graphic designer.
Yes.
Yeah, I love her work.
She's known for her incredible lettering,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been very open about sharing her process
Okay.
and her struggles.
So she shows the ups and downs.
Exactly. I've seen some of her process videos on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
They're so fascinating.
You can see her like sketching and experimenting,
Yeah.
making mistakes.
And ultimately creating these beautiful pieces of art.
Right.
But it's a good reminder
Yeah.
that even the most talented creatives,
Make mistakes.
they do. It's
Mm.
part of the process.
It is.
And Jessica Hishe embraces that.
Yeah. She shows it all.
She's showing us that it's okay to be vulnerable,
Right.
to share those behind-the-scenes moments.
And I think that vulnerability is
Yeah.
what makes her work so relatable.
Absolutely.
We see that she's a real person,
Yeah.
not some unattainable genius.
Right.
It makes us connect with her even more.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about teaching.
Teaching.
Because Kleon argues that teaching
Mm-hmm.
is one of the best ways to deepen your understanding
Okay.
and make a real impact.
And it doesn't have to be formal, right?
No, not at all.
Like in a classroom.
It could be sharing a blog post,
Right.
mentoring a friend,
Okay.
even just having a conversation.
With someone who wants to learn.
Exactly.
I like that.
One example that comes to mind
Okay.
is Lisa Congdon.
Lisa Condon, the artist.
Yes.
Okay.
An educator.
So she teaches.
Yeah, she's built a thriving career teaching online courses and workshops,
Wow.
sharing her passion for art and design with students all over the world.
That's amazing.
But what's interesting is she didn't start out as an expert teacher.
Okay.
She was just sharing what she loved,
Right.
connecting with people who were eager to learn.
So teaching can be a natural extension of showing your work.
I think so.
As you share your process, your insights,
Yeah.
you attract people who want to learn from you.
And the beautiful thing
Yeah.
is it's a two-way street.
Oh, absolutely.
You learn as much from your students.
As they learn from you
It's this constant exchange.
of ideas and inspiration.
Okay, so we've seen how Show Your Work
Yeah.
has played out in the lives of authors, designers, artists.
So many different fields.
But what about those of us
Yeah.
who don't necessarily identify as creatives?
Okay, yeah.
Does Kleon's philosophy still apply?
That's a good question.
I think it does.
You do.
I think Show Your Work is relevant for anyone
Okay.
who's passionate about something
Mm-hmm.
and wants to make a contribution,
So it's not just for artists.
not just artists.
Okay.
Think about entrepreneurs, scientists,
Yeah.
educators,
Yeah.
even those working in more traditional corporate settings.
We all have something to offer.
We do,
And Kleon's ideas can help us share our work.
in a more authentic and impactful way.
It's about breaking down those barriers
I love that.
between creative and non-creative.
Yeah.
Recognizing that we all have the potential to create
And that potential.
is unlocked when we embrace our amateur status,
Yeah.
focus on the process,
Hmm.
and start sharing our work.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive
To dive, yeah.
into Show Your Work,
Okay.
I want to leave you with a few key takeaways.
Key takeaways, love it.
First, remember it's not about perfection.
Right.
It's about progress.
So start small.
Be consistent.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
You'll learn as you go.
You'll be amazed by what you can achieve.
When you commit to showing up and sharing your work,
Second, find your tribe.
find your people.
Connect with other creative folks who
Mhm.
inspire you
Yeah.
and support your journey.
Absolutely.
The creative world is more collaborative than competitive.
It is.
And there's so much to be gained from working together.
I'm sure.
And finally, keep going.
Keep going.
The creative journey is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right?
There will be ups and downs.
But it's the persistence,
The
the
curiosity
belief in your own potential.
that will ultimately lead to success.
Well said.
So we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
We encourage you to pick up Show Your Work,
Read the book.
explore Kleon's website,
Yeah.
and start putting these ideas into action.
In your own life and work.
The world needs your unique voice
Absolutely.
and your creative contributions.
So go out there and show your work.
That's it for this deep dive.
Until next time.